Out here at FirstEnergy Park, speaking with Dawson. Andre, just want to get your thoughts real quick on the cap decision to go into the Hall of Fame. Did you have a preference there, Expos, Cubs, or anything like that, or just your thoughts on that?
Well, the decision is made by the Hall Committee, and with respect to the decision that they made, of course, I did have a preference. But they were more concerned about the history of the game, which I really understand. And it's not a real big deal to me. I got my start in Montreal, played there for 10 years, the majority of my career, and from there 6 in Chicago, 2 with the Red Sox and 2 with the Marlins. But the main factor in all of this is that I'm in the Hall of Fame, so the cap's not a real issue.
Sure. During your playing days, was this always a dream of yours to be honored in such a fashion as being inducted into the Hall of Fame someday?
I didn't really have, that kind of thought process while I was playing until maybe the later years, the last 2 or 3 years, when you accumulate the years, the numbers started to pile up, and you wonder, well, if you really did enough and what the criteria actually would be. And then you reflect a little bit on it post-career, and when that time comes, when you're actually on the ballot, and the voting process actually takes place.
Pre-professional, during your days as a fan of baseball, before you became a pro ball player, who were some of the guys that stood out to you as guys you would kind of want to emulate or be like someday, that maybe ended up in the Hall of Fame and will be in a class, or that you'll be in a class with?
Of course, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle. You're talking about the elite players who really stood out at that time. And there were younger players in the game who I idolized once I got a little bit older, got in at the college level. But when I was a kid growing up, I was a Dodger fan because of family reasons. And they followed the Dodgers a great deal. I saw a lot of the Braves games, so that kind of drew me a lot to Hank Aaron.
All right. Also wanted to get your opinion on baseball these days. Who are guys out there right now that, not that you would have to pay to watch a ball game, but if that was the case, who are guys in Major League Baseball right now that you would maybe consider paying to watch, and who kind of stand out to you as very talented guys these days that could end up in the Hall of Fame eventually?
Well, I've always been a big fan of Derek Jeter. I grew up with Alex Rodriguez. I shouldn't say I grew up with him. He's a lot younger, but I remember from, when he got his very first start, and actually worked out with him on some occasions. There are a lot of stars in the game today, and it's a different game. It's more of a hitter's game now, but you're starting to see the trend where the pitchers are starting to take a little bit more control, the young arms anyway. But I'm sure, a guy like A-Rod, Jeter, Hanley Ramirez, who I get to see a great bit of in Florida, and he's one of the up-and-coming stars. I've always been a big fan of Albert Pujols, Vladimir Guerrero, who I didn't really play with in Montreal, but followed his career when I left Montreal. But there are a lot of stars in the game today, and there are, a lot of players who are going to be one day staring at, it's going to be staring them in the face whether they have a Hall worthy.
I got one last one for you here. The NL East race, very tight right now. Obviously, the BlueClaws, who you're visiting today, are a Phillies affiliate. Just kind of got some bad news this week with a couple of their starters out of the lineup with injuries. How do you see the NL East shaking out this year, and do you see the Marlins playing a role in the final standing?
Well, we've had our ups and downs. We've had some problems with middle relief pitching, and hasn't really been as consistent as we want to be with our offense. The one thing about that division is the matchups, depending on who's pitching from day to day, you never know. We beat up on each other. Philly is still going to be the team to beat. They, by far, probably have the best team in the division from top to bottom. I think somewhere along the line, all of the teams probably are going to hit a snag where they're going to have problems with injuries. The Mets are still waiting for Beltran to return. And Atlanta, of course, have, just taken advantage of everything. And they're at the top of the division, barely. So that's, it's a whole half season left, and it's going to boil down again to who's pitching can continue to be competitive and get them the extra innings, and then the guys who can refrain from injuries. I think injuries are going to play a key role.
Okay, that's all I got for you. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.